I can't help but think this, just putting some connective tissue together, right? That we've all been, I don't want to say Mort's been used, okay, but I just did by saying I don't want to say it. But we've all been, given information to put out there, and we all think this is a bona fide piece of information that should be put out there. I can't help but think, let's put it out there, make it think like Jalen's our guy, but then call our old friend Joe Douglas for Zach Wilson, number 2 overall, and pull the trigger on that. And that's the way that they're going to actually move forward in Philadelphia, because you're sitting here wondering what's the connective tissue that you can call up Joe Douglas. Obviously, anybody has his number, and he'll take the highest offer. But maybe that's the way they go about it, right? I just don't. I don't know.
It could be because, look, I wrote about it last week. I wrote about Zach Wilson. You had his coach on. He's a really, really intriguing player, and he's gonna get picked very high. And there are people right now in the NFL who really believe in Zach Wilson, and they believe in him as a year 1 starter in the NFL. Now, whether Philadelphia believes that and whether they will offer the best, here's a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Joe Douglas, do you go down, because you're going to have multiple opportunities to go down? Do you ignore everything and take the guy who you think is going to be your long-term guy, get a 2 for Sam Darnold, and just move on with still a treasure trove of picks that still include, or would still include 2 ones this year, 2 ones next year?
Well, let me answer that question for you, Peter. If you like a quarterback other than Wilson, and you believe in somebody other than Zach Wilson, and then you move down to 9, and you could take down that guy down at 9. Everything you're hearing is that there's no kid from Ohio State who can rush the passer generationally available at number 2, which has been that spot in recent days.
There isn't a generational defensive player in this draft,
right?
Not even close
at all. So if you could take somebody's picks, you don't go any further down than 9. Go and use that. You still have a first rounder as well. You could get somebody else from for Darnold on the second night of the draft, just like the Cardinals did for Josh Rosen, and play it that way. I mean, you could absolutely play it that way if you're the Jets.
You could do it. I mean, look, the Jets. I think the Jets are in a really enviable position, because what if?
Mm-hmm.
What if they stay with Darnold for 1 year? Forget everybody said, well, then you'd have to worry about the 5th-year option. They're not exercising the 5th-year option. It would be foolhardy. You're not doing that. All you're doing, if you keep Sam Darnold, is you're giving him 1 year to prove himself. And then if you got to pay him after that 1 year, you figure out a way. But if you keep Sam Darnold and he's your quarterback this year, the Jets, under almost any circumstance, would have 3 ones next year. One of them would be their own one, which would probably be a darn good one. And so you would have an opportunity next year, and everybody says, well, the quarterback crop's a lot better this year. Look, that is such a silly way to look at it, because you have no idea who's coming out next year. And 1 year ago today, Zach Wilson was in a 3-person competition for the starting job at Brigham Young after having a horrible end to his 2019 season. So no one knows what the draft is going to look like at any position, never mind quarterback next year. So I still think that part of what Joe Douglas can do is he can say in his building, look, Sam Darnold's never had anything close to a fair chance. Let's give him a fair chance. Let's draft let's trade down to number 8 and take the Northwestern tackle. And now we got 2 bookend tackles, and now it's a fair fight for Sam Darnold.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.